guys, it's Godfrey.
And I'm David.
And we are looking at the 2014 Grammy Awards, and we're just taking a look at some of the categories and making some predictions on the current nominations. So we're looking at the Album of the Year category right now.
We are.
Yes, we are, and I would say it's probably the most prestigious award the Grammys gives out, just because it encompasses the whole album across all genres, and it awards both the artists, the featured artists, and the producers and the engineer as well. So I would say it's probably the most coveted award. Anyhow, so let's look at the nominees. Okay. We have the Blessed Unrest by Sarah Bareilles, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City by Kendrick Lamar, The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and Red by Taylor Swift. So once again, I think this category encompasses pretty much most of the genres of music, bar the rock genre. However, we do have the pop genre from Sarah Bareilles. We have dance from Daft Punk, some rap and hip hop from Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, as well as Kendrick Lamar, and then we got some of that country pop from Taylor Swift. So let's look at, who do you think should win?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
What's the list again?
We have the Blessed Unrest.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Daft Punk, Kendrick Lamar, Macklemore, and Taylor Swift.
Well, I would have said several weeks ago Macklemore, but now I think Kendrick Lamar. So I'm going to say Kendrick Lamar's album should win, because I just think it's overall probably a better structured album. Macklemore has gotten on my nerves, but don't even get me started on that. Oh. Because it might take a while.
Alrighty, well,
I listened to a New York Times podcast where they talked about, okay, you got me started. I got myself started. Where
it's a discussion, go ahead.
Where they talked about Macklemore and how every song that he sings about, with the exception of Thrift Shop, it's all about him. And he's a very self-indulgent rapper in a way that rappers are self-indulgent, but for some reason Macklemore sort of internalizes it in a way that's kind of gross. And I think even before this album with My Oh My and things like that, he made the story about him, about his relationship with a baseball player, a legend. And then in the New York Times, they specifically spoke about Same Love and how somehow he made like the crusade for gay rights and gay marriage rights in the United States somehow about Macklemore. And it's true, the song became about him and about his experience. What if he was gay, but he's not gay? So it was kind of, I started thinking more about what Macklemore is and what he represents, and I started to decide that I don't quite like him as much as I maybe thought I did. That was a long rant, but that's it in a nutshell.
That's very interesting you say that, because my should win is actually Macklemore for the exact same reasons of why he does not like Macklemore after listening to that. No, not because he's self-indulgent, but because I personally think that he has a relatively eclectic hip-hop album with catchy hooks that, like, with catchy hooks like on songs like Can't Hold Us, and then he can still have the more like serious songs like Same Love on the same album, and it's a relatively I guess, versatile album, and it definitely got everyone singing along, and I think that kind of counts for something, and it's not just kind of mindless. I think it does have a bit of artistry towards it, so I think that was why I chose it as the album that it should win.
Well, I've sort of been grappling with how I feel about Same Love over time. Just with that context that I just explained, it made me feel less about the song than I did maybe 5 months ago.
I find it really funny that we both chose like the hip-hop/rap entries as the winners.
The other ones are bad.
Well, I wouldn't say they're bad, but anyhow, I just thought it would be funny that we brought that up because I do have noted here that looking back at previous Grammys and the previous trends of who wins, hip-hop and rap albums generally don't win. They've never really won in the past. So for the Album of the Year. So I think this award might actually go to a different person. So if we're thinking about who will win, I personally think it actually might not be either of these two artists. I actually think it would go the award, sorry, will go towards something that's more adult contemporary, a little bit more safe, which is what the Grammys generally go for. Like last year, Mumford & Sons won, then the year before that was Adele, and then a couple years back it was Taylor Swift. It was always very, very safe. So I personally think that it's actually, who will win is actually between, sorry, what?
Keep going.
Okay, I personally think it's between Sarah Bareilles and Taylor Swift. Actually, the two ladies, and I would think it's either those two. Taylor Swift, like I said, has already won this once with Fearless in 2009, I believe, or 2010. It was either those two, I forgot. But and I think it just might she might just go home again with this award because Red is. She did sell over 1 million copies within 3 weeks for Red, and it's quite an accomplishment nowadays to sell over 1 million copies of whatever album comes out nowadays. So I think it's the Grammys.
Beyonce.
Well, Beyonce, but anyhow, we're talking about this category right now, and I think the Grammys will definitely take a look into sales as well, where Sarah Bareilles has a beautiful album, and I think it's a great album as well, except she doesn't get that commercial success with that album because she's not as huge of an artist. But so
she's not Katy Perry.
And yeah, similar-ish enough with Brave and Roar and whatnot.
Okay.
Anyhow,
well, I picked Taylor Swift too, so put him here.
Oh, okay. So I picked Taylor Swift. Can't say I'm huge on Taylor Swift either, but I mean, just from prediction-wise, I'm gonna say she wins. So that's my take on Album of the Year, and we will see who wins for that category at the Grammys on January 26th. And
we actually have the winner here. The winner is